Howdy guys, after some technical difficulties when I first started, I'm now officially ready to go. Today we are building my friend's PC with his new board. It is a X570 Aorus Ultra. Had to check. I got distracted right before I started and need to clear my head still, but we're going forward. He got a Ryzen 5900X and 32 gigs of RAM. We tested everything. We are finally ready to build his PC. He got his third graphics card. Finally. 3060 Ti. New in box. EVGA is awesome. This is the second RMA we've received after his first one got water damaged and his second one was DOA. We're using a Leon Lee 011 Dynamic. It's a great case. One of my friends has one. I've never built in it before though, so we are just about to open it up for the first time. See what we got here. Just a keyboard falling off a box. No big deal. I am really glad to know that everything in this build, as far as I know, is completely working after all the problems we had getting it going. And for those tuning in today, yes, I'm a little hoarse. I overworked my voice a couple of weeks ago, or like a week ago now, I guess. Week and a half-ish. But I am most of the way better. It stalled out a bit on healing because I got my second COVID vaccine right as I was starting to feel better. But that's cleared up. I'm feeling good. My fever's broken. I can finally start getting back to seeing people, you know? Having a life outside of this room. Let's see what they gave us. Let me get a knife. Let's see what they gave us for mounting screws and other things like that. Let's prep this case up. And for those of you that want a proper tutorial for this, I will be editing it down in the future and using it and other footage from it to build a proper tutorial. But if I miss anything today, I apologize. I will try to go through it as best I can. Cool, so we've got a lot of special screws in here specific to this case, looks like. They use these, what's a good piece to use as an example? A lot of the parts on this, they have these little, like T-shaped heads, and so there's screws that match that, it looks like, rather than using just lips of pressed sheet metal. So they get a much, much better engagement surface. And I wonder what this piece of rubber is for. We'll have to see if there's a piece of documentation later. People always say the smart ones don't read the manual. But like, guys, sometimes you have no idea what something is until you do. Of course, those are loose. I'm an idiot. I should have checked better. Got all of them, except one. I'll find it later. I know we're not mounting a ton of hard drives in this case and other things. Ooh. Huh. I heard something else fall. But yeah, we're not mounting a whole lot into this build. There's a whole big bag here of extra stuff, so we should be fine. One thing they did not give me is my favorite type of screws. They're the big ones with the hex head with a Phillips in the center. They're so much easier to use because I have a screwdriver that has one of those heads on it. I can just take the end out, slip the screw right in, get a nice good seal on it if the Phillips doesn't want to behave. Alrighty. As well, get our motherboard, CPU, and RAM all together in there. The RAM is already seated properly in the correct channels. We stuck that in, it is clipped. The CPU is in the socket. We did that off camera for testing. There's no reason to take it apart. We're just going to go with it. Pour out a big pile of screws. Oh, no, you know what? I'm blind. They totally gave me some of those. They just didn't give me them in M3 threading. These are probably for the power supply mount. Fair enough. Yeah, these little guys. It's not in focus. Oh well. Enough of those for now. I'm actually looking at doing a similar rebuild on my personal PC with the same board and possibly the same RAM, but I don't know yet. Haven't decided. I have somebody that might be interested in buying my 3900X that I have in my streaming, editing, gaming all-in-one, the rig I use to do everything except my server, but still not making a lot of money right now. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna pay for that. Apart from selling old stuff. That won't cover it in full. Cover most of it, won't cover all of it. This RAM, in my testing, if I remember correctly, did have better compatibility. My current RAM does not want to behave with its XMP profile. It's just been unstable and kind of blue screens occasionally. As long as I have it running 3600 megahertz. Oh, good. There you are. Screws like to get away from you on these black motherboards. My supposedly magnetized screwdriver is wearing out. Need to re-magnetize it. I love my iFixit, but it doesn't feel right in my hand. That's the most important thing to me. It's upside down in the socket. Put it in right side up. Did a backflip. Bad screw. Get it? Got it. Boom. All the screws are in. Let's check if I left that SSD installed or not, actually, before I keep going. Remember in my testing? Aha! Yes. I do need to do that still. I left it out so that if anything got damaged, at least the SSD would be okay. We are using a brand new 970 EVO Plus 1 terabyte for boot. And for some games, most likely. Given how many are asking for some level of SSD these days. There's not a lot, but I think people are saying Cyberpunk had it in the requirements. I never looked. There we go. Aiming for the wrong spot. The sockets look different than on my board. Slightly. More metal. I left a screw there for myself. Beautiful. Alrighty, we got our board in. Now, let's figure out cable management before we put in the GPU. Got to get our power supply first thing first. Now, most people, they like to put the cables on before you put the power supply in. Some people like to leave the power supply off so that when you're working in there you can just run the cables however you want, but I like having the starter set ready to go. Got our 24 pin. We've got 2 separate runs for GPU. Actually, no, wait. We have 2 CPU runs on here and a single run for dual GPU. Maybe I'll have to dig out another cable for that. I like to run independent GPU runs for each section. And before we install this in there, is this peeled? Yeah, that's peeled. Don't want to forget to peel your components, guys. It's bad luck. Oh no, it goes in that way. Leon Lee has a very unique layout. Let me see how that orients. Okay, so there is ventilation on the back. So we face the fan outward. We can get fresh air from the wild. Yeah, this would probably have been a build where it would have been better to put the cables on after we install the power supply. You know what? It's okay. Boom. Got it. Now me, I like to install power supplies with thumb screws. Leon Lee did not provide any. So we are going to use my next favorite over. Nice heavy duty hex screws. I can get a good grip on. Well, they're shallow. I can't even get a good grip on them once it's screwed in. Oh well. What's the point of having a hex if there's no purchase? I will not over tighten them then. Oh, good. Okay, I did miss a peel. One on the back right here. I got a horrible story about missing a peel on my brand new 7900 GT, GTX, forget. But it was a single slot card. One of the last high, quote unquote, high power single slot cards. It had a single 6-pin PCIe, I think, maybe an 8-pin. This is my last GPU that I was hoping to have on socket 939. Single core CPU. And didn't peel cooler. And I don't know if that killed it, but I don't think they designed the cooler properly, honestly, because it shouldn't have. But it did melt a little bit, as did the plastic part of the cooler shroud. And then the GPU died. And EVGA was redoing their tech support at the time. So by the time I learned, my neighbor worked for NVIDIA and could help get a hold of them for me, since they never replied to my emails. The card was obsolete and I'd already upgraded it. You know? And back then, when I say obsolete, it's not like today where it's like, oh yeah, you know, a card from 4 years ago, the RX 580, is totally good to go in today's games. No, like, we're talking doubling of performance every generation. It was a huge difference. So yeah, peel your stuff, guys. I don't know if that killed it, but, you know, better to be safe. In this case, has 2 power supply bays, one of which I opened the panel for. We do not need that. We'll put that panel back on. Check that area. It's also good access to the drive cages there. I wish I had better view of everything, but until I finish building the studio, you guys get lame 45-degree camera angle. But I can work with that. We've got 2 CPU power because the board does have a 4 and an 8 pin. And oh man, this is gonna look real clean if I do this right. Flip these over. Flip them over. Focus. I turned off autofocus on that camera, but apparently it forgot. Wants to go this way. Sometimes you just gotta figure out what the cables want to do. Work with them instead of making them work with you. See, Sonic makes really good flat cables. So if you guys are looking for a solid brand power supply, and you know that you're gonna want it to look pretty in your build, their GX line of power supplies and their TX line. This is a GX 850, and the TX line is literally identical, just higher efficiency. Both have stellar looking cables once you get them all routed nice and flat where you want them. Ow. Dang it. I scraped the spot that my finger is healing. Did not break the burn though. Is it bleeding? Yeah, it's bleeding a little. Oh well. It'll close right up. Alrighty. Let's not pull a bitwit on this black motherboard. For those that didn't see Kyle's video from today, he killed a whole lot of stuff. And he was very fortunate enough to have the resources and pull with the brands he was working with, get them to replace it in a shortage. Lucky man. But yeah, guys, don't plug your 24 pin in wrong. You can kill a lot of things that way. When I was working at Fry's 10 years ago, a little before that as well, we had somebody do that when they were doing a build for a customer, and the store took the L. Customers still got their new parts. We just had to reprocess everything. Nothing I need here. Oh boy. We got a lot of fans they're gonna need installing. He has 6 Silent Wing 3 fans from Be Quiet and an Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 240. These are really good coolers, guys. If you're in the market for a AIO liquid cooler, they're one of the few that has chipset cooling as well. Got a little fan built in. Does the job for you. Clean workspace is a happy workspace. Gotta put these screws away. Sorry if I start losing my voice again. I don't have a fancy LTTstore.com water bottle, but this headband is sure keeping my head clear. And I apologize for the audio, guys. I tried to get RTX voice to work with OBS today. NVIDIA, come on guys, the software's great, but it's so hit and miss with OBS. And OBS, it's probably your fault, but NVIDIA's software is still buggy, sure. One or the other is always cutting in and out on me, long term. If I'm gaming for 4 to 6 hours with a group, it will fail me at some point. And I'm not the only one that has that problem. I can confirm 2 of the other people in our outfit are in the same boat. Alright. Because Arctic did such a good job laying out this case. Oh yeah. We're going to do exhaust up top, inlet and back. I'm going to mount the radiator on the top. I'm going to put an extra fan up there next to it. Do it, push-pull. Got the fans. Arctic includes a pair of fans with their cooler. And although they are not the same, they will still aesthetically match. Or I could put those on top. Yeah. This build's gotta look nice. I'm gonna put them on top. I'll make the Be Quiet fans do all the work. Plus, I don't know. Does it say what RPM they are? They're 18. I'd rather have that on the backside. We're gonna have to build him a lot of fan profiles, which I'm not gonna do on streams because that's gonna take a long time. A lot of extra testing to do there. Each Be Quiet Silent Wings 3 fan comes in its own paperboard box. I like that. No plastic. A lot of people think making paper is bad for the environment, and it can be. This is bleached paper, but if they were to use brown paper instead, this could be a really nice carbon sinking method. Oop. What are these sticky bits? That's not supposed to be there, I don't think. There we go. I'm guessing. Huh. Oh, I see. The fan comes with 2 different sets of corners, I guess? Let me see. Wow. That's really cool. So you can choose between what looks to be a standard industry mounting mechanism, through hole, you can screw them down or snap them through. They got some type of, I see, got it. So they've got a vibration resistant mount, and they've got a standard through hole. They have little push pins for the mount for the non-standard. Nice design. I like that. I've used some push pin designs like that before, and you know, as long as there's a way to replace the pins or the fan still takes normal screws, I'm all for it. They do help with vibration, but it's not necessary. This is fine. And I also need to be able to put a screw through these. Cool. They're omnidirectional. Ambidextrous corners. I have literally never handled these before. Did not prepare for this. So we're doing this live. That's how you learn. A lot of YouTubers will plan and rehearse things ahead of time. I did do some planning to make sure this build would work and turn on. Had to test everything once we ran into problems the first time when we were just testing on stream before. Alright. Do that 5 more times. But now I know. But yeah, back to my point about paper packaging. Paper is a carbon sink, as long as you keep recycling it and growing trees. It's a good way to capture carbon and use it for something. And most of the fuels we use today based on carbons come from old biomass. It's how you get it out of the atmosphere, out of the environment. Grow it into stuff. And don't burn that stuff. Not for a long time anyway, hopefully. People say fossil fuels aren't renewable in that regard. Well, on a long enough time scale, they technically are. Geological time scales. Those that don't get that, that's like hundreds of millions of years. Eventually. I should pull up chat on the screen so I can see who's here. About to do that. How we doing, guys? Well, we got one viewer for a bit. Nobody else though. Gotta check in. Cool. Nothing looks to be wrong with the stream. Alright, we'll leave that out for now. I do wish I had prepped these fans. This is going to be time consuming. That knife. There it is. People underestimate how valuable a knife can be as a prying tool. Just don't spend more on a knife than most people spend on a graphics card and then lose one, like I did. $200 knife. And yeah, most people don't spend $200 on a graphics card, believe it or not. I remember when a high-end card was $300 to $400. And the ultra high-end cards were sometimes $500 to $700, but that was very high. We're way past that now. Due to the ever-rising cost of GPU manufacture. And probably increasing profits. Well, what do I know? Wait, what? There it is. It's down in the middle of the case and I couldn't see it. Not enough contrast. I remember when DFI made the most brightly colored motherboards you can imagine. Everything in your build was probably going to be a different color. Now you can do that with RGB. But it's not the same. One of these days I'm going to learn to properly paint one of these things and keep it working. Do a throwback build with modern parts. Retro sleeper. bring it to a LAN party in 1999 and nobody would have any idea. Apart from the case. I'm not using a retro case. I do not have the steelworking skills to manage that. So unless I find somebody that does. I would tell eQuiet that they should install one of these sets on their cooler or on their fans before they ship them when they're not attached to a cooler, because they do use these same fans on their coolers. I've installed a couple recently, but that actually costs a lot of money, judging by how long it's taking me just to install 6, though they could have them out of the box and ready to go. Where are these made anyway? Yeah, China, but everything's designed in Germany. So, I'm pretty sure the Germans could figure out a way to work that out. Also, a word to Newegg. Your combos, they need work. I've seen some really bad info recently about your combos. When my friend bought his 3060 Ti, this cooler was comboed with it by EVGA. And yeah, even they're getting in on the bundling, but it's a really good cooler. Would you guys rather have an exploding power supply or a cooler you're actually going to use? Come on, guys. Steve explained it best. Go watch his video if you want to know more. I just build PCs for now. And other things. I was going to bring you a really interesting video of me working on an old tube amp that I'm restoring, but alas, I don't feel qualified to work on it on camera, let alone off as well. So I'm going to go work on it with a friend's dad, who turns out probably knows a thing or two. Make sure I don't electrocute myself. That'd be bad. There's 625 volt AC in there. And yeah, you heard that right. 625 volt AC. Tubes. It was a thing. It's the same reason that it was dangerous to operate inside your CRT monitors. But I learned how to solder inside one of those. I definitely shorted it once. Got a big old sparky arc, but I was never stupid enough to touch it with my own fingers. Had to work inside them while they were live to adjust brightness on the old Sony Trinitrons. They had this problem when they'd get old where they'd get over bright and you'd start seeing all the scan lines. It's 6, awesome. Yeah, you had to solder in a new resistor in place of the old one. And it was, well, about as dangerous as it sounds. Because once it was running, you had to measure the voltage across it. And not short the very sensitive ICs that were right alongside it. which I definitely did at least once and had to recharge a tube. Or recharge a capacitor, rather. Ah, beautiful. Let's go ahead and peel these. Unfortunately, you will not get to see the gorgeous peel of the case, because it's bad luck to peel a build before you give it to whoever's going to use it. Before I forget, I'm going to peel that off of there. I have seen techs building PCs forget to do that. I've seen a lot working at Fry's. We had some really, really good techs above me, and some really dumb ones occasionally working alongside me. Those people that were just not qualified at the time to be working as a tech at all. Oh yeah. It looks like these are going to stay in push probably after all, because I don't know if there's a way to move the gorgeous link wire setup these fans have. Or wait, is there? I think there is. I'm going to take them off and find out. Only one way to know. It looks like they're held on both by standard fan connector. It's just going to be fun routing this long, like 2-foot almost cable instead of the short one that the fans they included came with. Oh yes. Do I want to modify that? I think I'm going to leave it. If I was going to modify that, I would go the full 10 yards. Not 9, 10. I'm going an extra yard on that one. Because the full 9 yards would just be to get the fans all where you want them for appearances. But I would have to do some soldering, or at least crimping, of these little ends. And I don't have any pins for the 4-pin fan header that's on there. So I'd have to cut them short. Not worth it. The real question, did Arctic give me a set of screws for pull fans? Looks like these are all, yeah, those are all screws for the mounting bracket. Wait. What? Are there no... Yeah, there's screws to mount it, it looks like. They're just longer than I expected. Oh. Six. Where did it go hiding? I hate it when they do that. I'm just gonna get everything out. I need it all anyway, right? The rest of the way back in there. Straight screws. Yes, they are. Those are really long. Whatever. Mounting this right now is going to make it much harder for me to install other fans. So I'm actually going to do that last. I'm smart. I forgot to grab the case screws for 4 fans. Boom. I do not have a giant table to spread everything way out on like most people. Gotta work with what I got. Sorry if things were a little fuzzy, guys. Autofocus. My camera is a little finicky. And 4. Sorry, Gabe. Looks like you got 2 more fans than you needed. We will put those to good use, hopefully, in your other build. Or later on, you can swap them in yourself if there's headers for it. I feel like this board is not going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So there are 6 headers. And you only need 5 anyway. Just 2 of them go to 1 on the cooler. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and stand this upright. How do I want to orient my wiring? Like that? Yeah, like that. I'm going to make a channel of wires along the sides of the fans. Hide them right back in here. Shouldn't be able to see it at all. I won't even have to do cable management on it, probably. Just scrunch them all up. Staples there. I don't like throwing away plastic bags I might be able to use for sorting other screws later. Plastic bags cost money. There's already too many of them. These are not pre-threaded. Fans hardly ever are. But I've had one or two that were. I'm not going to screw that in all the way for now. I cannot tell if I'm going to need to raise or lower the first fan. When you guys are installing multiple fans side by side, you always want to leave a little bit of wiggle room before you get them nice and tightened down. Otherwise, you either have a big gap between your fans, or worse, you won't have enough space to mount one at the bottom of a row 3, or your fan just won't line up on number 2. Alright, good. Nice and loose, but on the rails. Hi, viewer number 2. I don't know who's watching, but I know my friend was trying to. Forget where I actually advertised my stream. I meant to put it up in a couple of community discords, but didn't copy and paste the post anywhere except my own, if I remember right. Alright. That's coming along nicely. looks like we only left a good amount of space. Interesting. What's hiding there? Oh, hey. There's the front panel stuff. Noticed a packet of cables hiding back here. There is... Ooh, that's tight. There is a removable panel. Get to those. I was just thinking to myself, where's the front panel header cables? Tiny screw. In addition to the thumb screws. I don't know who thought that was smart. Oh yeah, perfect. Will give me much better access to tie everything down. Deal with that later though. Got USB 3. Useless audio, Type C, and yeah, that's it. All right. Almost got 2 fans in, all the way. Thinking to myself how I want to cable manage everything. Cable management, making it look pretty. Take a long time with this many fans and cables. You should know. My computer has twice as many. I had a free camera available. I would show you guys. We will just have to do with the thumbnail from the channel profile. Corsair 1000D build. 11 fans? 11, yeah. The maximum in the case of 13. Could have gone bigger. I didn't. Boom. 3 out of 3 on intake. Here you go. Come on. Had a Velcro purchase. There we go. Boom. Pull that down a bit. I'm just going to free wrap this one now. I'll worry about length later. Now, you guys can't see it. They line up perfectly with the side ports. In there. Pull that down. Nice. Maybe I'll zip tie it later, maybe I won't. As long as it stays. Oh. Cool. Let's get cooler in there now. Do I want to do the fan first? I will be able to leave. Still mount this there and put it over here. I don't know how I like the tube pressure though. Yeah, hell, that looks better anyway. Yoink. I'm gonna have to move that. Just realized I did not line that up the way I needed. One of the cables would have to route all the way down to the bottom, but I want to have... Oh no, that's right. I keep forgetting there's 2 fans, 1 header. Yep. I'm just gonna let that slide. You know who you are. Those of you that laughed at that, you know who you are. Perfect. Beautiful. One more. Alright. Oh, I tighten those ones down. Oops. There we go. Keep that slide. Aw, snap. Will it fit? She do. Barely. But she do. Trying to think if there's a way to use these screws to mount fans. They're long enough that they're just poking into the fins in between on the radiator, which is actually not the best design. But alas, what you gonna do? Come on. There we go. It looks crooked, but it's not. I'll try and give you guys a better view of what I'm doing here. Where did... There it is. Where'd my 8th screw go? I know you're here. Don't try and hide. That's better. Wasn't really looking at that. There we go. Screws are not quite lining up how I wanted them to, with the holes in the center. I put this top fan as intake instead of exhaust. Gonna have to flip that. Whoops! It's not big brain. Paying attention for it too. At the radiator's in good. I don't think it's going to be a big deal trying to turn this around, even with the radiator sandwiched up in there. I've already got good access up here. Should be as simple as turning it on its side 90 degrees from a corner. Whoop. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, I'll go that way. And I'm gonna go this way. The cable doesn't want to behave. I have the slack. It was getting in the way of me accessing this hole down here and putting a screw in. Significantly in the way. I like it when manufacturers sleeve their cables, but I like it better when they just give you flat black. That way, if you want to sleeve them yourself, you can, but they're flat. Makes it easier to get them in places. There you go. God, I remember when I was so new to this, I didn't even understand which way a fan spun. Like which way the air went. I was 11 years old. And I didn't get it straight in my head for 2 builds. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I could remember. Beautiful. Let's get that fan wired up. Oh boy. Oh heck. Got it. Which one's the optional? Where's for my headlamp? I don't want to wear my headlamp because it's already hot enough as it is. It is the dark colored one. It's supposed to be the light one. They're both gray. Beautiful. Did it without skewering my finger. For those of you that haven't skewered the tip of your finger on a fan pin before, just be glad. Just be really glad. Oh. So before I plug that last one in, I get to figure out, that's the manual for the case. I get to figure out how this cooler mounts. Oh, nice. Arctic. Yep. Arctic loves QR codes a lot. Whole lot. Where did I put my QR code app? They say the revision is on the quote gift box bottom. Rev 3. Right next to the UPC. Nice. They have an ad for Steve's video on how not to mount your AIO. Stop doing this. The whole thing, radiator below pump, radiator above pump, check mark. Oh, that, I know you guys can't see it very well. That is good. I'm impressed. Proud of you guys. So it is possible to switch it, push to pull, according to them here. Maybe I'll look at doing that later. For now, that just sounds like a lot of extra cable management. They got gifts for everything. No, I said I was doing this right the first time. I'm not redoing squat. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have the screws for the fans. Oh wait, we're gonna find out what thread these are, because I want these to be in push. I want the matching fans up here. No reason not to. If you're watching this, Gabe, you should look up what thread they used on those. Oop. There goes my power cable for later. Everything's falling over today. Can't keep the damn thing straight. Okay, so their first step is to prepare not the socket, but the cooler. Nice. One of the Intel pieces got clipped right on there. Wait, what? Oh man, I hope those screws that fell, one thing, oh, those are for the case, never mind. Those are these. Have not dropped anything for these. Bag here. So there's supposed to be a pair of screws in here that I use to screw these two bars onto here. Those screws are not present. You know what? I think those two are them. Yeah, it's gotta be. Photos on the site are not the clearest, but it looks like that's them. Cool. I didn't see the second bag. I'm a dummy. Mount me on a pole. Put me on display. 'Cause I'm a dummy. I'd probably be better dressed anyway. Gotta save that low back somehow. For those that don't know, I have back pain issues. Doing these videos is actually quite hard on my back. But when you love something very much, you do it anyway. Come on. Nice. Alright, now those are on. It wants me to go ahead and remove the stock AM4 back plate. I need to replace it with... Actually, no, it just wants me to remove the front plates, the ears that the AMD stock cooler they've had since socket 754. Thank you, Linus, for confirming that for me on Friday. I knew it went back to socket 939, but I wasn't sure if 754 AM4 the same way. Over 15 years. Not that you would want to use a stock AMD cooler from 15 years ago. It was just a block of copper fins soldered together with a flat base. If that. I know Fry's still had some of those advertised as 754 and 939 compatible from Thermal Take. I'm going to take a wild guess that these hex screws, these standoffs, are actually what I want. But, wait, are these compatible with this? They are. A little small. This screwdriver with its spit out will do fine. Screw them in tight. Beautiful. See? Any cooler manufacturer that doesn't use this stock backplate is wasting money. In my book. The backplate it comes with is great. Literally just a thick piece of steel. The only backplate design I've seen that was even possibly better I'm trying to think. I think... Anybody remember Prolimatech? They had a cooler called the Mega Holmes. Thermalrite and Noctua competitor back in the day. And it had these chunky, like that by like that by like that bars that came out to hit the holes on an Intel socket, and a big bar that went across that was just as thick, if not thicker, made out of I think it was extruded aluminum, and they ground flat. Cool. Let's see here. That looks that does not look right. I feel like I missed a step somewhere. Oh, I'm a forehead. Or am I? No, that's how they showed it. But their own graphic is wrong. And I can tell their own graphic is wrong because it doesn't fit, and there's grooves on the underside of this for me to flip these around and face them the other way. Yep. Yeah, that's probably right. The Intel holes, what I'm assuming are Intel holes, do not have access any longer. So for Intel, that would have been correct, but for AMD, it's wrong. I'm just going to let that GIF play on my phone for all y'all to see very clearly what they showed. They showed that right before showing how to prep an AMD socket. And as far as I can tell, this was just what they showed. They didn't show an Intel or AMD option. They just went straight into AMD only. Intel users can go hang. I don't know. You know, figure it out together. Hang out together. Do your thing. Awesome. Beautiful. Boom. Master cable management skills here, guys. Oh man, it's almost as if they designed it that way. They probably did. Is it really just 4 and 3 screws putting this thing on? I know I need thermal paste, guys. Is it really just? No, really? Why did they give me case frame screws as well? That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm gonna upright this. Turn it so you guys can see it. Some motherboards apparently do not comply with AMD's specification, according to their helpful little website here. I'm trying to determine if this is one of them before I keep going. No, it comes up. That's how it says it should. Oh, great. No. Let me find my iFixit kit. Oh, the screws are stuck. Why are you stuck? Where do you hate me? Nope. Strong enough magnet won't bring it out. Almost there. Yeah, it's really stuck up in there. Boom. Got it. I'll use the proper head on one of these next time. I have a tool set, it's just, I think it's out in the garage. Do I have longer M3 screws anywhere? That would be my next question. So I'm pretty sure that's what these are. Alright, I'm not crazy. 313. They behave. Yep. What they are. It's always something. I need to sit for a sec while I look at this. Try and think of a solution if it doesn't want to screw on. I'm going to go ahead and that's really weird installation. Ew, wait. Am I an idiot? I'm an idiot. There's a whole bunch of screws in the bag still. Look at the installation manual. What am I doing? Screw those all in. Oh, so I do use these pieces for something. Or do I? Reality check. So I was right before. It looks like those were supposed to wing outward. Yeah. It's taking so much longer because I'm not following the directions. Rip. Believe me when I say you want to make sure that your screws and coolers are tight. I have seen some horror stories. Coolers that literally weren't screwed together all the way, just wobbling on something. One of my friends, quote unquote, mounted their cooler, and it had like a ½ centimeter of give, and I was able to just throw that thing around like it owed me money on the socket. Come on. Behave. I get it now. So these 4 M3s were actually for this. And hopefully these holes are the right ones. Doesn't indicate what holes are for what at all. There we go. Wait, what? This screw doesn't feel right. If I might fix it. There we go. I'm gonna keep my magnet grabber out. Yes, I know it's a screwdriver. I have used it as one. Start screws. What the heck? Like, he just starts running up against a ton of resistance. I have to check like it's being cross-threaded or not, but it's good. Oh, okay. This is a tight fit. Literally like kicking the screwdriver out of the socket because it's just so tight. This doesn't feel right. It's fucking going against sideways or something. But yet it's not. Am I crazy? Use a different screw. They all want to just sort of go in at whatever angle. Kinda. Okay, that's straight. But it's not cross-threading them. The weird part. It's like the metal in there is just softer than the screw. Huh. Hey, that's beautiful. That screw and that post, we're just having a disagreement. Oh. Plate 2. Ruh-roh. Houston, we have a problem. This cooler does not work with this motherboard. There's capacitors in the way, it looks like. Okay. I get to call my friend and tell him I did all this work for... Yeah, is it for nothing? Just about. Yo, are you watching the stream? For sure. Your cooler doesn't fit on your motherboard. No, there's a row of capacitors that are too close to the socket. Yeah, there's a whole row of stuff that doesn't fit next to. It is, yeah. Yeah, right? I got really far into installing it. I spent like, I don't know, a good half hour dealing with where I wanted to orient it and figuring out the mounting mechanism. And it doesn't fit. I can like finish the build today with the AMD stock cooler that I had on here, potentially, but we got to figure out what mounting bracket design is going to fit on here if you want to have an AIO. Because the Asetek design definitely won't have this problem. The problem is that it has these two bars that like go, you know, left to right, above and below the socket, and one of them just sticks out way further than it needs to. Yep. And the really dumb part is that they do have a pair of bars that go around it, and they line up perfectly with the 4 holes on the original backplate. So they literally could have, instead of this whole thing, just given me a pair of M3 screws that were long enough. I could get it to work probably with that, if I had screws that were long enough. So we can either pick a different cooler, or I can go to a hardware store tomorrow and get you a set of screws, and we can say F all of their little bits and pieces, and I can just tension it manually that way as well. It'll probably get higher mount pressure. Nah, I just have to make sure not to over tension it. Yeah, let me verify that does in fact line up with all 4 before I get you off the phone here. Because I don't know why Arctic did this way. It just seems ridiculous. And it's like thicker than it needs to be around the socket, or wider than it needs to be. This is probably what they had to do to get around like something relating to Asetek's patent, and they just didn't think about like it being too wide on a high-end motherboard like this one that has stuff really close to the socket. It's like the stupidest thing. Of all the things to prevent me from finishing this build today, potentially, it had to be this one stupid thing. A rudimentary thing like screws not fitting how I want them. Yep, because they got these wings, like straight up. Okay, they have these wings on the AIO itself that mount it to the board, right? And in the diagram and everything, they even show, like, look, you use these wings this way, and they go wide around it rather than being right up on it. But if you actually look up close on the cooler itself, it was built to have the wings oriented the opposite way, so that they align directly with those AMD holes. And I don't know why they moved away from it. It literally doesn't make any sense to me why they would change that, when it looks like they already had it designed to go directly, like they designed the moldings and everything, you know? And this would only matter on AMD. Those moldings wouldn't matter on Intel because it would need the wider angle of hardware. Yeah, I mean, you can look at it on the stream right now. There's moldings. I'm trying to get it in the right lighting. There we go. There's a molding right there that I'm pointing to with my middle finger, and I'm orienting it to fit in that molding. I even mentioned it earlier that there's moldings there. And yeah, like, it just doesn't quite work the way they set it up. I need like a centimeter more clearance around the socket, or for the capacitors to be like a few millimeters shorter. Yep. Huh. Yeah, what the heck? Hold on. I just had, like, big brain moment here. If I can get to them behind the camera somehow, everything's in the way. They're M3 threaded. I can use a standard M3 header, or not header, riser. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna see if I can fix this right now. So we're gonna use standard PC case riser pieces, which actually, I was trying to avoid that when my pocket caught the camera. One of these sets of screws has extra, yeah. Nope, this case doesn't use... Why would a German engineered case use 632 thread? I have a big pile of stuff back here, including a bag of 1,000 M3 thread brass risers. Where did they go? I have 1,000 of them for a reason. I'm literally in the box here with all the stuff. I bought them for a project. Needed a lot for. Aha! Found them. 6mm by 4mm extra. Yeah, that'll hopefully do it. Boom. Now we're back. Watch this be the big brain move of the day. Because yeah, if 6mm is all I need to solve my problem, I've got it right here. These are 100% standard, everyday computer case risers. Standoffs, that's the word I'm looking for. The things you mount the motherboard to. I don't know why I can't word today. I can never word properly. Just because they're brass, I don't want to magnetize. Do my thing. Let's find out if that's enough. Oh God, yeah. That's like just, I might be a little too tall. They might be just a little too tall. Yep, my screws will work though. Okay. I'm a weirdo. I like to spread the thermal paste with a spreader. Oh, really? My hairs wants to get in on the thermal action. I say nay. Probably good enough. There we go. Nah, that's not gonna work. Dang. Get to message him and let him know. We'll go with the shot. There's nowhere near enough pressure. Rip. Hey Arctic, do better. Could have done better there. Clearly you have the ability to line those holes up how I need them for this to work. Clearly. I will use this thermal paste on the Intel stock cooler so I can finish this build today. Good enough. I do have it in reach. Oh wow, it's 10. I did not expect to be not done 2 hours in. Well, I should know better. Got something in my thermal paste. Okay. Oh yeah. That later. I need to remove these. That's right. There we go. My comment regarding my back is in reference to the fact that I am due for my pain meds, but they're not anywhere near here. I need to go find them. Beside that, I don't want to deal with that until I'm done. Because, yeah, there's not really much left to do other than snap this cooler down, install the GPU, and sign off, because I'm not doing Windows install on this stream. I don't know if my friend wants that all set up anyway. I am a dummy. Put these backwards. Why? Sorry, Arctic. But, yeah. Not much you can do about that, huh? Not much I can do about that. Arctic could design things differently. Okay, I need a headlamp. I can't see squat in that little spot there. Boom. For those that don't know, you can use the end of a flathead, catch it on the metal lip of your AMD cooler. Not in it, but on it. That was the socket 754/939 installation directions recommendation. And it still applies today. I'm gonna hang that in the front for now. I'm not gonna uninstall that right now. Oh, my back is angry. With that said, let's wrap this up. Get the GPU ready. I got the slot for it anyway. But before we do that, let's plug in that front I/O. Hey. Whatever. Oh wow, so I didn't do it like that. Boom. Oh, that is clean. Barely long enough. That USB 3 Type C just fits perfectly right in there. Since he doesn't use this at all, I'm disabling front audio and BIOS. I'm gonna run this up here. There we go. Magic no cable tie, cable management. Simple but effective. Once again, I cannot read in the dark. Oh, I see. Oh, it's right there on the bottom. Hard drive. Okay, cool. The LED. Switch. And alright. Well, doesn't look as nice as I hoped. Ooh. Ow. There are some sharp edges in a couple of spots in this case. I got tough skin though. I'll be fine. I think it's time. Gotta cable manage them eventually. The only way to get sure everything's where I want it is to install the GPU. Good thing this GPU works. Yeah. Boom. Huh. Keep dropping inconsequential little items. Before I install that, clean workspace, happy workspace. And this is the third 3060 Ti that is going to be gracing my friend's house. For the first one, we don't know. It turned out that the CPU on his build was bad after he RMA'd his graphics card because he wasn't getting output. But that first graphics card could have actually been good. And the second one that wouldn't post was probably repairable as well. Oof. It's a lot of bend just to get the holes to line up on the back plate here. Mounting bracket. It's not perfectly straight. Close enough. Alrighty. Let's find out if she posts. I forgot to hook up a display port and I don't feel like digging for it, so I grabbed my monitor. It'd help if I flip that on. Yeah, I just saw something on screen. Flashing little header. You're gonna behave. Boom. Reboot and select proper boot device. Oh, I pressed the power button again. It's gonna show you. Once it initiates, I'll be able to show you guys. There it is. It's a post screen. Well, I was gonna go all through Windows install with you guys today, but I'm burned out, and this build's not gonna be done yet anyway because of the cooler problem. So I'm gonna sign off here. I have a little bit of cable management to do, but I can do a video separate on that if anyone would like to see it. For now, this is me signing off, guys. Have a good day.